What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Beyond Real Estate. So on today's episode, I got my little homie. I got my friend, business partner, general contractor, Shamar Pruitt. It's a funny fucking story, but y'all gonna hear that in a minute. Let's get right into it. Introduce yourself and we're gonna flow.
I'm Shamar Pruitt. I'm a real estate investor and a general contractor.
All right, cool. So let me give my version of how we met. So some years ago, I believe we were 16 years old.
16, 17 years.
Yeah, 16 to 17 years old. I didn't know him at the time. I knew his girlfriend that he left on the streets once he decided to commit a crime and go to the detention home. So he in detention home. He left her, so that means that, she on her own. So she started liking me, right? And so we became fast friends. And so he heard about it. He got word about it. And so I remember like yesterday, me and two of my friends, we were walking up Superior Avenue, and then the RTA bus that was coming in the opposite direction, it made a sudden halt, like right by a big open field. It was no bus stop, so it got our attention. Like, what's going on? Why the bus stopping right there? So off of the bus comes him and another guy, right? He was the same size that he is right now back then. So just imagine. So he was the same size as he is right now back then. He's with another guy that had on like a karate coat and some karate shoes. Long story short, they looked dangerous, right? And that was like our first intro. So we had, we squared up. His dude had a machete. He started kicking his feet around. But fast forward after that, because that's a long story. What stands out to me most about the story is that minor situation that we had, and some years went past once I first got into the real estate game. One of the people that I shared what I was doing with was Shawan, and we wasn't friends. But me, I just felt like since I was one of the ones that I knew in my neighborhood that had a first exposure to real estate, doing something legitimate other than, selling drugs, I was just like, I was sharing it with everybody. And my broker brought me an opportunity, and I took it to Shawan. I said, hey, here's something that, you could put your money in, right?
Yeah. I'm not gonna go back and forth with the story, so he skipped the whole part. But like you said, that's a long story. But I want to say one of the things that I got out of that, I'm glad we didn't have no physical altercation or whatever, but we became friends. After that, we was cordial in the streets and everything. But once I see somebody doing something positive, no matter who they are, if they doing something positive and they changing their life, and I like what they doing, I ain't got no problem with following their lead. So he came to me with opportunity. With my first property, I think it was 1994. I bought a 2-family house for $8,000. That was my first property. So ever since then, we've been good friends.
So that first property that you bought, first of all, what made you? Because a lot of people weren't listening to me, that was in the streets.
Right.
Like, they weren't interested in real estate.
Right.
What made you listen to me about buying that property?
Like I said, if I see somebody doing something positive, and ever since I know you, things been positive. So, and then when I seen the house, or I heard about the houses that you had at the time, and then I don't know, our friend bought a house before me. I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But whatever, it was looking good. Like I say, if anybody doing anything positive, whether they friends, foe, whatever it is I don't got a problem with following their lead. So I knew it was a good thing to do, especially with me trying to transition and get out the street. So I knew it was a good thing to do because I watched you do it.
Got it. So after you bought that property, you were still in the pharmaceutical industry,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes.
And so what happened shortly after that? After you bought the property?
Well, I hired my uncles and them to start doing some work. That's how I got into doing some of the work myself. I hired them to do some of the tile work and all the stuff that it takes. And I was still trying to run the streets, but my uncle was like, listen, you need to learn some of this stuff. I don't care what you're doing out there, but you're going to come here and learn. At least give me 8 to 10 hours a day and learn how to do some of this stuff. So he showed me how to do ceramic tile. So I gravitated towards it, and then that's what led me into doing properties for other people. is because they liked the work that I was doing. So I just started doing work for other people as well as myself.
Got it. As far as the real estate game, what part do you like more and why? Is it doing projects for other people as a GC, or buying, flipping, and holding your own properties?
Honestly, I like the process of it, like from start to finish on both ends, whether it's for me or with somebody else. I like to see the customer happy, whether it be like an investor or a homeowner or something like that. That's what I'm in love with right there, with the process of it and finishing projects and turning something that looks like this into something beautiful. That's what I like most. What
do you think would be the best use of your time? Do you think the best use of your time is doing full rehabs for other people, or doing full rehabs for yourself? What do you think the best use of your time? Like, if you had to, like, have you ever really looked at it? Have you ever really thought about it? Like the time and effort of dealing with, customers and clients versus the time that you could put into doing your own projects and how your network could increase, putting, your energy into your own thing.
I know financially it probably would be a better thing for me to do for myself, just don't do anything for anybody else and just do my own projects. But like I said, I got a lot of people that, I'm trying to help win too. So, but I understand that doing it the other way, I could probably get to my goal faster. I know that.
Okay. So what stops you?
It ain't really stopped me because I still do stuff for myself.
Right.
But just cutting everybody off has been a process. Like cutting people off and just doing my own thing and fixing up my own stuff has been a process. It's been a challenge.
Wow. When I hear you say that, I started to think about how just say nonprofits, right? Not all of them, but some of the ones I know, like nonprofits that don't really have any money, they want to help the whole world.
Right.
And I get the concept, like they want to help the whole world, but first you got to help you. And once you help you and put you in a position, it's easier to help the whole world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because nobody's going to help you the way that you want to help you.
Right.
I don't care how many clients you decide to keep. Like, nobody's going to be looking at your cash flow and your assets and taking it as serious as you. It's just it just don't work like that. And so that's why I always ask you that question, just so you could kind of think about it, not telling like you should do this. No, you should just think about it. And I think the more we put ourselves in position, it's easier for us to help other people.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that to me personally, that don't make sense to me. That don't make sense.
You like helping people, right? You like helping people
for sure. But I'm not going to do it at the extent where it's going to take me away from what I need to be focused on. Right?
I understand your view. I understand it.
Yeah. So, when did you decide to go full-fledged in real estate and not no pharmaceutical stuff? And the reason why I'm asking that because it's hard getting out of the streets. I mean, I struggled getting out of the streets, and a lot of times I can remember myself included saying that, talking about crackheads. But when I really looked at that situation, it was like, no, I was worse than the crackheads. Like, the dealers are worse than the crackheads. Like, we addicted, right? And we supposed to be so intelligent and sharp and smart, but why would we continue to put ourselves in situations like, destroying our community, putting ourselves in situations where we can go do 10, 20 years away from our family. Somebody else got to raise our kids, putting ourselves in, positions where when we leave out the house, we may not make it back. Mm-hmm. And so I know it's hard for a lot of the guys that's in the streets. It's like, because it's an addiction. And I think it's good to hear from different perspectives on how people really, got unhooked from that addiction. How did you get unhooked from that addiction?
Well, I was forced to get unhooked by going to prison, in 1997. Shortly after that first house, a few years later, I watched you walk away from it. Mm-hmm. I didn't believe you at first, but I watched you walk away from it. Right. And then I can remember being in the visiting room when you come in to visit your brother, like, damn, I should have listened to him when I was in there. So I was forced. But, along the way, while I was in there, I still listening to stuff that you was telling your brother. I was reading books and coming up with a game plan for when I came home. So when I came home, just got right back into it, you know. So I was forced.
Okay. So when he say forced, he mean like he went on a federal sabbatical, aka all inclusive, everything paid for by the feds. Like you ain't gotta worry about it. Like you ain't got money for a light bill, don't sweat it. They got you. You got a twin bed, like they got you. 3 meals, like you good.
Yeah.
So when you came off of your federal sabbatical, what was your first step back into the real estate arena?
First, I came home. I was trying to just get a job because I was in a halfway house.
Okay.
So trying to find a job, I couldn't find no job. So in the process,
was you really looking for a job?
Yeah, I needed to. Yeah, they was telling me I was gonna go back to prison if I didn't get a job.
Okay.
So I couldn't find a job. So I ended up creating a job for myself, working at a friend's shop and paying myself to do that. And then shortly after that, I bought my first property from me when I came home. I bought the property and I fixed it up, rehabbed it, and I think I refinanced that one. I didn't sell that one, but that's how I got back in the game.
How did you pay for the property?
My mother gave me some money.
Okay. And you rehabbed it?
Yeah, rehabbed it, yeah, and refinanced it. That was my first, I say flip or whatever. That was my first introduction back into the real estate market.
Okay. And then what was your second project?
Second project actually was the one on 80. I bought a house on Cedar, and that's the situation where I was trying to just get back into, you know, being free, buying stuff, getting myself situated after being gone so long. And I bought the property and I ran out of money from fixing it up. And that's when I came to you and was like, you know, gave you my scenario, and you just told me to go holler at Glenn Phelps.
Okay.
Hard money lender. So he was able to come in and give me more than enough money that I needed to finish the project and sell the project. So I used him to fix it up, sold the property, gave him his money back and made a profit. So I kept doing that. And me and Glenn developed a great relationship since then from that.
Got it. How did you like dealing with hard money lenders?
It was okay. It gave me leverage to, you know, move around a little bit, do more properties, more than one property at one time.
Yeah. Okay. For those that don't know what a hard money lender is somebody that lends money most of the time based on the asset, which is the property. So if the deal makes sense, the hard money lender will lend you the money. The interest rates can be between 12 to 18%. Sometimes people like to go to the hard money lender because the hard money lender can close on a deal faster than your typical bank. Hard money lender can close on a deal 14 to 21 days. Sometimes with the typical bank, it could be 30 to 45 days. I get the question sometimes about would I deal with a hard money lender? I haven't dealt with a hard money lender in the last probably 20 years, but yes, I would deal with a hard money lender if I had to, or if I was just getting started. Here's what you should focus on when you're dealing with a hard money lender. Focus on bringing a great deal to the table. Me, when I was dealing with the hard money lender, they were charging 18%. And I had some people around me that wasn't in the game that was saying 18% was too much. Well, the 18% wasn't too much. If I ain't bringing nothing to the table, I could pay them they 18% and I could still make 25, 30% without using my money. That's a good deal for me. So the numbers that you should focus on are your bottom line numbers. What's going into your pocket, not what's going into somebody else's pocket. So yes, hard money lenders can help you scale your business up fast. Hard money lenders can help you get in the game when your traditional bank probably won't lend. But hard money lenders, and they understand investors. Hard money lenders understand investors.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like about our relationship, and I think about this often, is that our relationship, and we talk about this, our relationship is not based on business. And a lot of people, most people relationships is based on business. It's based on what you could provide or what you could do for somebody or the money that's coming in. Most people don't have a real relationship. Me, I've always been the person that I'd rather have a great relationship and we don't do no business. So no matter what, we got the relationship. It's easy to make money when you got a real relationship. So our relationship is not based upon business. Like us doing business is a byproduct of our relationship.
Yeah.
What do you? What
Yeah,
do you
yeah, I agree. It's organic. I'll call it organic. It just it wasn't made up. It just happened naturally. So I agree with you.
What would you tell somebody that that's interested in Cleveland, interested in being a general contractor? Like, what would you like? What are the steps to become a GC? And do you think that it's beneficial for somebody to be a GC in Cleveland, Ohio?
Yeah, I think it's a benefit to being a GC in Cleveland. First of all, you got to know what you're doing. You got to get some experience under your belt, so you can actually know, because it's more than just being a GC. You got to know the way the work's supposed to be done, because anybody that's working up underneath you, you can be able to look at their work and let them know if it's the right way to do the work. So you'll be able to see that, and it's profitable. You can make some money being a GC. You can also partner up with investors and split the maybe you buy the house and I provide the money to fix up the house. You could team up with people.
That's a great point. So let me ask you this: for a GC, what's the typical profit that a GC can make off a $100,000 project, like $100,000? What's the typical?
If you're not touching anything, it's like, far as you're not doing any physical work, you're just making sure the work get done. About 20%.
About 20%.
About 20%. So you can make about $20,000 off of a $100,000 rehab.
Wow. So somebody that wants to be a GC, they get in the game, they learn hands-on from somebody that's experienced.
Yeah.
So they can once they learn the game, they can easily make like 6 figures a year being a GC.
Easy. Yes.
Okay. And then he said something else that I want to dive into. I don't know if y'all missed it or not. He said, being a GC, that means you got the experience, know what needs to be done. You got a crew, meaning you got the tradesmen up under you, electrical, plumber, heating, etc. You don't have to have no money, but you could partner with the investor that got the money, and you could cut up the profit that's going to be made from the sale of a property.
Yes.
Explain that to us.
Well, it's just like you sharing the responsibilities. The actual investor, even if they're not local, you share some of the responsibility. While they're in the other city doing whatever they're doing, you're here on the ground, saves them time and money from going back and forth, and you just, you split the money that way. All the responsibility, like I said, is just not on them. You share some of it. It's in your best interest to get the property done, because if you don't get it done, you don't get paid.
Right.
So unless, like I say, if you're just a regular GC and I'm giving you all the money and you walk away, then the contractor always wins that way, but that's one of the benefits of teaming up with investors.
So again, what he said is becoming a GC, first off, learning the game first. Becoming a GC, you could easily make 6 figures a year, right? That's one. 2, once you learn the game, you could partner with investors that have the money, and you could participate in the equity or the profit that comes from flipping a property. So the property that we in right now, it kind of give us the insight of what's going on here.
This is a rehab that my partner purchased. I think they purchased it for like $80,000. I think it was.
Okay.
And when I came and looked at the house, the property was already purchased. So I came in and I just did the list, the scope of work, what needed to be done. We both came up with ideas of everything, and then we figured out, what we we're going to do, how the layout was going to go. We went over all of that, and here we are now, just working on it now. We're in the kitchen, standing in the kitchen now.
Okay. What's the rehab estimate?
$100,000.
100,000 rehab
Yes.
estimate. 80,000 purchase price. What's the sales price? What's
Low
on
threes.
the market?
Low threes.
Wow. Did y'all hear that? $100,000 rehab, $80K purchase price, after repair value or what they could sell it for. He said low 3, so that means 300 plus, AKA is money in real estate. So, is it cool stuff on there?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, I like this. So how many bathrooms in this property?
When we started out, it was 2 bathrooms. We created a 3rd bathroom for a master just to increase the value. Because I think right before that we couldn't get over 3, but adding a bath and making a 3rd bathroom, we was able to get over 3. Okay. The comps, comparables, yeah. So here you got the 1st floor bathroom. Downstairs you got 2 bedrooms in between the bathroom here downstairs.
How long will the rehab take?
like about 5 months.
5 months.
Yeah.
So, a new investor or investor looking to hire a contractor, how would you tell them to go about hiring a contractor to make sure that they protected in the process of a contractor rehabbing their property?
Right. First of all, if it doesn't come from a great referral, somebody that you trust and they done work with a contractor before, wherever your property is, I would just make sure that contractor is registered in that city. Make sure they're licensed and bonded and they got insured in that city. That's one of the best ways, because if a contractor takes the time out to register with the city and they got their bond with the city, then they do work in the city. And if they're continuing to do work in the city, because if you don't do the right thing in the city, you won't be able to register with the city as a general contractor.
What about what are some things that should be in the contract when they hire a contractor to do work? What are a couple major things that should be in the contract?
Well, one of the things, me being a GC, and like I say, before anybody like the plumbers and the HVAC guys and all of that can come and do work, they work under the GC. Okay. So one of the most important things that I think is real valuable that a lot of people miss is when you hire a GC and you got yourselves working under the GC, you want their insurance information as well. Because if I don't pay the GC, if the GC doesn't pay the plumber or the HVAC guy or whoever it be, they put a lien on the property, and then you're stuck trying to find out who this guy is. But if you already got their information and you can contact the guy, then that way it saves you the trouble of trying to find out who it is. And it also protects you to let you know who's working on your property.
Okay. How would you advise an investor to pay a contractor? Would you advise the investor to get a contractor half down? Like, how would you?
No, what you do, you structure the contract and you go in phases. I call it benchmarks. So once you come up and you guys agree upon the scope of work, whether it's labor only or labor and materials only, you set benchmarks. You get the HVAC done first, you get a portion of the money. You get the plumbing done, you get a portion of the money. You do the demo, you get a portion of the money. And you do your contract like that. You have benchmarks, and every time they reach that benchmark, then you pay them. Never let them get ahead of you. You want to make sure that you follow that guideline forward, and then you save 10% at the end that you have in the contract. Until I'm 100% satisfied, we have 10% on the table. When I do my final walkthrough, pass all inspections, make sure you have all your inspections, all your green stickers and everything, making sure that every phase of the project is checked off, the POS and all that stuff. You want to just make sure that all of that stuff is complete. That don't mean just walk through and look at everything. You want to make sure that all permits are passed, finalized, and closed out. And then, like I say, you hold that 10%, and then they only get that 10% once you're satisfied, once you put eyes on the project.
What do you think what's the best ways to find reliable contractors?
Well, I would say referrals.
Okay.
That's the best thing. But again, if you trying somebody new and you structure the contract right, there's no way for you to get burned. Once you come up with a contract or something you agree, let's just say something for like $10,000, right?
Right.
If you agree with a contractor to do something for $10,000, you say, hey, you start a demo today. Once you get done with the demo, I'll come over there and I'll pay you. You pay them in phases. You build a relationship just like in any other relationship. You build it. You don't just start off giving somebody your money. You want to build a relationship, you guys get a good rapport, and you go forward with that.
Okay. What do you think about finding contractors at Home Depot? I hear a lot of people say Home Depot.
Here's the thing. I go on Home Depot all the time and I see different contractors, but I pay attention to the ones that I see the most frequent. Mm-hmm. I don't just see, because you see people coming in and out of Home Depot all day, but it's the frequent faces, the people that keep speaking to you. You feel like you know them. You can't even remember where you know them from because you see them so much, like, he's in there. So those are the people that I look for.
Okay. What about going to the specific stores where, like, say, the electrical store? You ever had any success with finding contractor, electrical store, plumbing store, paint store?
Well, here's another thing. Again, you could call the city that your property's in and get a list of GCs. That's another way.
Okay.
You could get a list of GCs, plumbers, HVAC guys, and that's a great way. Because, like, again, every contractor is not going to be registered with the city. Once they're registered with the city, it's kind of like it's giving them a little validation a little bit. So, because they already connected. They're not scared to pull permits. They want to do things the right way, and they have a working relationship with the building department. So you can get a listing from the building department of local contractors that's registered in those municipalities.
So a lot of people try to get around pulling permits. How are pulling permits a major advantage for the homeowner or investor?
Well, it's a great advantage for it because if something happens, let's say you hire a electrician and you come to the property and things are not right, they haven't passed inspections or anything like that. The reason why you want their bond and insurance information, because if something like that happens, you go after their bond and you prove that the work is not right. And then what happens first is the city sends the inspector out. And once the city inspector don't like the work that he sees, that's what gives you the go ahead to go to the bond company and present your claim with them. And then it's just like driving insurance. You go after their insurance and now you got a claim and you can recoup some of your money back.
Let me ask you this. So there's always, about, you hear people talking about bad contractors or contractors running off, or red flags with contractors. What are some red flags from investors? Like investors, customers, clients. Like what are some red flags?
When they try to just dumb the price down all the way from the beginning, they want something done for nothing. That's one. You mean investors, right? With the red flags.
Yeah,
for
red
investors.
flag. Yeah.
Talking real fast. Like I say, talking real fast. And they want to just go down on every price, even if they know what the price should be. They still want to go lower price than what it should be. That's a major red flag for me.
What's your take on the real estate game? As far as do you think it's something that's going to always be around? Like, are you married to the game, or do you looking for something else to do? Like, or are you is this your main focus? That's your trap phone. Cause that man, or you dodging a contractor, a GC.
Okay, repeat that.
So what's your like? Is real estate your main focus? Do you see it going anywhere? Like, what's your take on the game, like the real estate game?
Well, I guess when I bought that house from you over 30 years ago, probably about 30 years ago, close to it.
Okay.
Right, and I was serious then, and like I said, it never failed me. It's been feeding my family for a long time. Even when I was away, it was feeding my family. So it's just like, yes, I'm married to it. I never really lost. I hear people say about losing. I never really lost on a property, never.
What's your favorite real estate strategy from an investor standpoint? Like, what's your favorite strategy?
Flips.
Why?
The process of it. I like the process of it.
Do it remind you of something? Like what? Like explain because they don't know. Like, what's the process of it? What's the process of it?
Of a flip.
Yeah.
You buy it, you bring it back to life, and you put it back out on the market, and make another family happy. That's what that's the process. The flipping of it.
Is it really make another family happy, or is the money that you like?
To be totally honest with you, like I told you back there, like I like my favorite part of it is giving somebody a product that they happy with. Like when they buy a property, I want them to be happy with it. The money's gonna, like you said, it's a byproduct. It's just the same. It's just the same thing.
But I like the money too.
It's gonna come. But the money's
sure.
gonna come. If you do great work, it's gonna come. You don't even think about it. I just do good work, and it comes back. That's what I'm in love with, that part of it.
Got it. I thought it probably reminds you of something. Because for me personally, I like to flip. I like wholesale. Wholesaling is my favorite strategy because the money comes fast, and it reminds me of the pharmaceutical industry. Like the money comes fast. It's like it's a rush. It's an adrenaline rush. The money comes fast. Yeah. So
again, this is the second floor bathroom. Remember, I said in the beginning, this only had 2 bathrooms, and I'll show you in a little bit. We added a bath to make it a master bathroom.
Okay. What's the typical turnaround time for a full rehab? Say if it's 1,500 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath.
Well, if you have to do all of the mechanics, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, roof, and things like that, about 4 to 5 months.
Okay, it's pulling permits,
inspections, everything. Yes.
Okay.
So again, this is the master. So we built that closet over there. It's gonna be like a walk-in closet, and then like I said, it was only 2 bathrooms, so we made this over here. We created this space. We created this space for a master bath. So now we got everything grouted. We're gonna put the vanity in, light fixtures, repainted, base mold in the toilet, glass door. We'll be finished with that. But then this is the 3rd bathroom that we created to get the value that we wanted.
3 full baths.
Yes.
Look good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Look good. Do you got any kids that's in the business?
No.
No.
No, I tried that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I tried it. It didn't work.
What, like, how did you, when you say you tried it, how did you?
Well, they always worked with me for over the years.
Okay.
Like all the kids, they all did, but they didn't gravitate towards it. My daughter, my son, all my sons, none of them just gravitated toward it. I tried, but I couldn't force them.
Right.
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 But they helped me with plenty of projects. Like, I'm not saying they didn't help me along the way. We did a lot of projects together. They painting, tile work, everything. So they was a part of the process, but they just didn't gravitate it towards it to start doing it on their own or anything like that. But they helped me along the way a lot.
Okay. How many projects do you think you do this year between clients and personal projects?
Probably like 20, 25 between flips, getting rental properties ready for like turnover for tenants moving in and out, things like that. About 25.
What do you like most, using all cash or using loans to finance projects?
All cash. I like all cash.
Why?
It frees up a little bit, like paying those monthly notes or whatever. But at this point, if the deal makes sense and the interest rate is right, things like that, I will use that if I have to.
What's your ideal client to work with when you're doing projects like this? What's your ideal client?
A client that just basically get out of my way. Just let me do. Once we come up with a scope of work and just say, hey, Shawan, I want this done, and just get out of my way and just let me just do that. Somebody that's just not over my back, looking at every little thing, micromanaging the job. I don't like that.
What's your biggest lesson in the real estate game?
Biggest lesson? Probably just to keep moving fast as possible. I got that from the conversation we had about the flipping and how you get to a certain amount of money faster than just buying and holding. Yeah.
Explain that a little bit so they clear when you say keep moving faster.
Well, the money just don't never let it sit. If you got to put it in something that you want to wholesale some properties, whether you want to partner up with people or whether you want to do a flip, or to just keep the money moving. Don't just let the money just sit there in the bank. You want to just find something to do with it, because it'll find something to do if you don't. So you want to find something to do with it, invest it fast, and just keep the money moving.
If somebody wanted to become a GC in Cleveland, what are the steps to becoming the GC?
Basically, like, this is Ohio is the only state that doesn't require you to have a license to be a GC. A lot of other states, just like realtors got to work up under their broker to become a realtor. We're the only state that don't. It's coming soon, but you don't have to be right now. So the thing is if you get your license, bonded and insured, your company incorporated and everything like that, and you got the right credentials to present to the city to make you be a general contractor, and you pay for that insurance and that bond, you could be a general contractor.
Do you got a program or a digital product or something that's coming soon where you training these guys to become GCs and also connecting them with work? Because I know, like, you one of the best in the city. People could trust you no matter what, and I think that would be a great resource for people to have, like somebody like you that know the game, that's trusted. Like, you got clients lined up around the corner. You probably can't even take no more clients right now, so I think it would be a great thing if you created something where you teaching people and you got the business for them. So will we see something like that coming soon? I know I've been mentioning that to you for the last.
Yeah, real soon. I've been writing stuff down. I've been going back and forth over it. Like you said, we always have these conversations, and I really think that it's valuable for me to bring and create a good system for people to follow. Because, like you said, we're important to this game, and right now we lacking good GCs and people to do the right work. And I think it'd be in my best interest to create something to give people the opportunity to do what I do, and create jobs for them and create businesses for them. That's what I got in the future. Yes.
So I'm glad we documenting this. This is gonna be live. Millions of people gonna see it. You heard it straight from him. He's going to put a course or some hands-on training together to teach individuals how to become GCs in Cleveland, Ohio. Also, provide them with the work after they done with the course. You heard it straight from him. Be looking out for that. How can people? What's your social media handles?
Pruittinvestment on Instagram. That's the best way to get in contact with me.
Can you spell that?
Pruittinvestment. Pruittinvest on Instagram.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back soon. Peace.